Thank you, Shubhajit. Thank you, everyone, for waiting for us for this panel. I am Awantika, the community lead for sustainability, and we have Mr. Sinha, Mr. Garg, and Mr. Vinayaka with us, the sustainable changemaker leaders in the hospitality industry. We are here to embark on a journey towards a future in a hospitality industry which is driven by Atithi Devo Bhava, which means that they are committed to providing exceptional client services. And they're not just limited to that, they are also driven towards, I would say, the well-being of our planet and the communities that they are surrounded in. While the challenges are immense, there are multiple opportunities that are available to this industry. And with this panel, we hope to explore certain best practices, some innovative strategies, and the sustainable path forward that we're going to take for the hospitality industry. I would like to open this session with an opening note from each one of you, and Mr. Sinha, we would like to begin with you for that.
Good evening, everyone. All I can say is, of course, sustainability is something which we as an industry definitely is looking forward to expand and to make sure that all the people who are coming in, be it resident or a non-resident guest coming and using a hotel, are well versed with this sustainability and how much can they contribute to, along with the hotel, to give it back to the society and, save our nature as much as we can. So we have certain practices, certain processes, and of course the certain equipments which helps us in contribution to what I'm saying right now, and we'll definitely, with due course of conversation throughout the evening, we'll be discussing those. So all I can say is good evening to you all very well.
Very good evening, everyone. Coming out of COVID, where hospitality was challenged, I think so the next biggest challenge for us is sustainability, how we evolve, how the industry evolves to make sure that we are becoming more sustainable. As an industry, we contribute around 200 million tons of wastage every year on this planet Earth. And the challenge for all of us is, how do we bring that down? How do we bring more community into our hotels? How do we make sure that we are giving more employment opportunities for the people who require it, and to be more inclusive with the, with the immediate society, with within the community that you work in? Those are challenges that are there for us in the near and the far future, but we look forward to them. We have done a lot of work in the last, I'd say in the last 10 years, the industry has evolved, but I think so we have a long way to go as well.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Vinayaka, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. I represent ITC Hotels, and thank you, BW, for giving us an opportunity to represent this particular the industry, which is an hospitality industries. Hospitality industry is, today I was just morning hearing various other industries. There also, as I think, when it comes to carbon emission, carbon footprint, waste, I think, that hospitality or that travel and tourism industries was not very, very highly spoken about. Just to give you some data, about 8 to 11% of the carbon emission of the travel and tourism industries contributes to that. From the year 2016 to 2030, this industry is going to go about 85%. There is a growth. Just imagine this 8 to 11% what it is going to impact. In terms of waste, especially the industry, the hospitality industries, it is considered as they are creating a lot of waste, because in the name of luxury, providing luxury service, etc., that was the thought. We actually recognize this as a hotels and ITC hotels about 15, 20 years back. That time, we were in a crossroad of whether to embark on a sustainability route or to embark on the luxury or the service-oriented route. Then we thought either taking this or that is not an option. We had to combine these two. That is the reason why our tagline today is responsible luxury. That means giving luxury services without compromising the Mother Earth. It is not only just a green wash like morning few people were mentioning about. Each of these has been drilled down. If it is like this, a hotel like this, there's a power. We are using a lot of power. How much we can optimize, what technology we can bring. Fortunately, our guests also educate us because most of the guys who comes and stays in our hotels, they are also in their field, they are experts. They educate us. That is also a learning starts. Second, water. A lot of water, how I can make it a zero discharge hotels. Third, on waste. Waste means I'm talking about everything, whether it is a biodegradable, non-biodegradable, etc., etc. These are the three elements we took. Today about almost all our own hotels, out of total we manage about 100 plus hotels. All our hotels, about 22 hotels are LEED Platinum certified. 12 hotels are net zero or the LEED Zero Carbon certified. 2 are LEED Zero Water certified. So why I'm saying all this thing is, if you have a vision and when you work towards it, it is possible. If I say 10 years back, you say that, okay, I want to make a net zero hotel, the people used to laugh, impossible. But it is possible. So with this, I think I'll keep these sessions for some more deliberations on these subjects. So I'm happy to participate and share our experience and learn from you people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, I actually come to my first question for our panelists. And that is that given the mounting environmental concerns that we are surrounded with, what are the specific initiatives that your hotels are undertaking to combat those issues? Issues like food wastage, which is critical in the hospitality industry because it has a footfall of thousands of people in a day. So how are you managing that, sir? Mr. Garg, we'd like to go ahead with you.
Food waste is it's a food and beverage industry, and there is food waste. So how do we bring that down? And I think so, food waste is a crime. Once you throw your food out, it's a crime. So there are multiple things that we do as Hilton and as an industry. One of the biggest and the most busiest restaurant that we run is a cafeteria. Staff cafeteria is the biggest and the busiest restaurant we run. One of the key things, I think that started around 10 years back in the industry, is that we don't have dustbins in a cafeteria. Okay, so amount of food you take, you consume, and you'll be surprised on the kind of wastage that is there once you put a dustbin in your cafeteria, and once you remove the dustbin, the wastage that comes down. Hilton has a proprietary program called Lightstay, where we measure every single wastage, like water usage, food wastage, and we monitor it on a day-to-day basis, and there are targets attached with that on this much reduction year on year, day on day. So those are two things that we do. Educating our guests is the most important thing, I think so. When I say educating our guests, I mean we have something called as in a convention center like this. If we were to do a meeting, I can pull out a report that will tell you, which we call as a meeting calculator, what is the carbon footprint of doing a meeting of this nature. And then we give it to the organizer, and they can do what they wish with that. They can plant trees, they can contribute, they can, as their organization sees fit. So I think the first thing is measuring your waste. Food waste is to be monitored daily, is to be educating your team, very important, how to, you educating your chefs, educating your team on not to waste food, and hoping that the guests as well understand that food on the buffet is not to be wasted. And which I think so today's day and age people do understand and understand it very well. So those are something that we are doing on food waste.
Well, adding on to what he said, cafeteria is something where definitely every hotel really looks into in terms of controlling the wastage. So as Manish mentioned that, the dustbins have been removed, but we do have somewhat similar, but we do a no dustbin day kind of a thing, and people who have been seen wasting food are fined. So these are the HR practices just to ensure that the team is very well worked and they respect the food and they don't waste. And moreover, in terms of the same in front of the house, when it comes to the guest, how we manage is we when we do our menu planning, we do a proper menu engineering in terms of the portion size, and also our menu also defines plates, like a large plates and a small plates. So people do understand before ordering the meal, they have an understanding whether they need to go for a smaller plates, or if they need clarification, the associates are there to help them, saying with the portion size, in which portion, how many pieces, or what is the... Normally what happens is and in a family restaurant, when you order just full portion, it can be good for one person depending on his eating habit, and can be good for a family too. So that was the whole idea from where we came in terms of defining our portions. Then apart from that, what we do is we have installed a waste converter. So all our food, whatever we collect from every outlets and including our cafeteria, we have our in-house waste converter. Now this waste converter is of a 600 kg of waste which gets converted into manure. Now these manures, what we are doing is we are using it in our landscaping. Along with these and if sometime when we have additional, we are also giving it back to those the small farmers or home grower kind gardeners and all, who do search and growing of their own vegetables and all for the small livings. They come and they take it from us. So that contributes to society as well.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, Vinayaka.
When I say waste, food waste is one part of the whole waste, this complete that cycles. So if I speak about food waste, few of the things, first you are not knowing is how much I am generating the waste. First is measurement. For example, a hotel like in Delhi, say ITC Marriot, you are not knowing that how much biodegradable or the food waste we are producing. First we thought of, let's put a weighing machine in their garbage room, when their final things, before disposal, let's measure it. This I'm talking about 10 years back. When we measured, we came to know it is about 3 tons. Per day, when we measured initially, it was 3 tons of biodegradable food waste was going out. When there is when there is a heavy function, wastage is more. Then we said, okay, if that is the case, how I can reduce it? There is a problem statement. Now they went to each of those outlets, like what he was mentioning, cafeteria, dustbin, there is the weighing machine. When the guy is putting his waste, he knows that how much is there. So he will be more conscious. So that each area, which is the maximum area which generates the waste. That was the point number 2 we started. Then even in the kitchen, where next to the dishwash, when the comes, for example, coffee shop, that ultimately when they clear, they put it in next to the dishwash, the waste bin, where there is 2 types of bins, we know that how much is waste that is generating. That means guest is how much generating, by our staff how much is generating, which unit or which restaurant is generating how much. And once we know that, then what else? Next was sensitizing our employees. That was the first things. First thing was when they are taking the one, because the buffet systems, when they are giving it a portion control, they put a little bit. If they want, they can come for the second serving. Third, something called one bite wonder. Like for example, a convention center like this, when they were giving and there is evening, there is a cocktail dinner. When there is a bite size, how I can reduce it. So that is the program we started in between. So today, that 3 ton has reduced about 400 to 500 kg. That is the progress what you have achieved. But still there is a 500 kg. what are you going to do? There is something called, initially we started an OWC, organic waste converter, which was converting into what he was just mentioning, to the biodegrade, or it is a manure we are using for our horticultures. Then what next? Instead of this organic waste converter, can I have a biomethanation small plant? Whatever the biogas which produces, I can use it in our cafeteria. Today, all our hotels has biomethanation plant. The gas is used in our cafeteria or in a coffee shop, so that my LPG or the PNG consumptions comes down. That is one part of the food waste I'm just talking about. Second is other waste. There is metal, there are debris, there are, where there is a plant and garden areas, those things. And there are even the bottles, plastics. When we did that, today about 99.3, which is an audited figure, each year we produce sustainability report. As an hotel, 99.3% of our waste we either recycle, reuse, or we reduce. Plastic is a big area which, because of the paucity of time, I don't want to take much of the time. Today, about 150 touch points, the plastics, single-use plastics have been eliminated, reduced, which is counting to about 2.5 lakh kg of plastics. So, this is, when you once identify the issue, break down into small things and find a solution, it is achievable and it is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Given the nature of the hospitality industry, I see there's a lot of scope for engaging people from different sectors, engaging different communities and the communities of our employees, the customers, and the local communities where the hotels are located. So I want to know, how are you engaging with those communities? How are you collaborating with those communities, empowering them so that they can also benefit from it and they can have a better livelihood? Mr. Garg, we'd like to go with you first.
For any business to be successful, we need to contribute to the society we work in, and that's true for anyone, be it hotels or anything else. Hotels employ a lot of people. The hotel of around 500 rooms will be employing around approximately 1,000 odd people. That was in pre-COVID era. Now the numbers have certainly come down. And there's an opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. We have gone with specially able people, people who cannot, while we have to be very mindful of health and safety as well, because in a hotel environment, there's fire alarms, there are alarms that needs to go on. So, hiring people who work, especially able people to work in your hotels, and there are enough and more jobs. But the most important thing, something we started around 7 years back, and I opened the Hilton in Manyata, where we employ around 20 special abled boys and girls. But the biggest challenge that I found was training people like me to work with them. You know, it's not other way around. It is about me learning sign language. It is about me learning how to communicate to them. It's about me learning how to welcome them, and about creating an environment where they do well. Just employing people is not enough. I think so to create an environment where people are successful. So teaching yourself and teaching your team how to work with specially able people was the biggest challenge when we opened this complex, and that is an ongoing process. I think so. Continuously teaching us how do we become more effective in communicating with them, and there are enough and more opportunities in a hotel. You know, there's jobs like operator where you can physically challenged person can be put, but you have to give an environment for that person to work. So it's about creating an environment for people to be wanting to come to work, and then creating an environment for them to perform like any one of us performs. That's the biggest challenge. But I think it is about we educating ourselves how to work with them and getting the best out of them.
Thank you, sir. And I think that's really important that if we are able to educate ourselves first, then we would be able to educate the others, the people around us. Mr. Sinha, next, over to you.
Just to add on, we also as a unit and being in Bangalore, we have collaborated with certain NGOs for different, it's not only about people. So we've got associated with this NGO called Satya. So this NGO actually, all the underprivileged women from who doesn't have a great background in terms of to spend money to learn hospitality, they are the ones who are doing these small skill job for them pertaining to the nature of the job, like it's got an housekeeping or maybe the kitchen or the service. And these people who can't afford the hospitality on a larger scale to spend and learn about it, these NGO at a very minimal price they are teaching them, and they have tied up with us. So we on and off every month we support them by hiring, going there. You know, sometime our training manager goes and gives some training classes in terms of hospitality etiquettes and all. Apart from that, when their course, after 2.5 months, they send us those profiles that they are ready in case if you, and normally in our industry we'll always have an openings for an associate entry levels ever. So we also go to these and we pick up people who come up to an understanding in terms of whether the person fits into, and if it does, which area he fits into our hotel. So that, with that matter of fact, we have say about 15 or 16 people in different departments of our hotel which is working. Apart from this, we've also tied up with NGO which supports in terms of the abundant and the those abundant animals, and also how do we do is we contribute, we educate our people, our guests who are coming in terms of the contribution, as in case if they would like to give donation, then there is a box where they can drop it, or they can, and apart from that, all our waste and the discarded linens and towels and all whatever we have, we normally donate those rather than just throwing it as a garbage. We give it to them because they do a lot of these rescued animals, and also that helps in that ways in other aspect what we do. Apart from that, as a hotel, we are not only or as a company, we are not only talking about the diversity in terms of increasing more women power employees, but at the same time we are also very inclusive. So we've got people from LGBT community and all who are working with us, and that's not only for a set, just for a namesake, but they are holding a great and a bigger portfolio in our hotel. And recently in the Pride Month, we went out and we made a nice on a social media campaign, we made a status about and did a nice video release in terms of how empowered they are and how comfortable feel when they are working in a JW Marriott.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll touch upon, there are internal and external that communities. I think what these gentlemen just mentioned about most of our own employees, which is there, whether it's a PWD or LGBTQI, etc. I'll go outside the boundaries. Few of the things which, as an hospitality, which we can take or which we are doing also, is how we can improvise the life of the communities outside your boundaries. For example, we have today about 60% of our energy come from renewable. As a group, as our hotels, 60% of energy come from the renewables. These are all by solar and wind farms. These wind farms and solar farms are located in a very remote areas. We used to have an issue of security, theft, pilferage, etc. So we thought that why can't we engage the local community, give them an employment opportunities so that they can also work along with us. That was a very novel idea. We started in Maharashtra, very successful. Rajasthan, very good. Karnataka, good. Now today, all our wind farms are managed, apart from the principal, the service provider, which is maybe a Suzlon, Gamesa, etc. The rest of the things, whether it is housekeeping, whether it is security, whether it is maintaining small things are done by the local communities. They have been engaged by us. That is one way of protecting. This is the win-win situation. They are getting employment, they are getting the belongingness. We are also getting in uninterrupted powers. So that is one. Second one, in few of the areas like in Agra and in Haryana, etc., we encourage the local farmers. They grow the vegetables and food, etc., and we directly deal with them. We directly take it to our hotels, which is called as locavore. Third is another engagement which we have started is the called Welcome Art, which is that means all the local artists, when they have something along with the famous artist, also we display many of these areas, hotels, local artists, their things, so their work. We buy, also have an exhibitions for them. That is called as the Welcome Art. Next is something called welcome art, and other one is the what do you call these artists, how we the budding artists, how we can encourage them. So there are many things, even including the defense service, the service people. After their 7-8 year of their youth, they are given to the nation. When they come back, there is a program for them. We can come and join our industries. So like that we can contribute in many areas as a tourism and hospitalities, but you have to see which one fits, which one is more appropriate, so that both will benefit. It is not like something, we are giving some, we are getting and we are considerate about them. Actually, we are also gaining a lot of from these initiatives.
Thank you, sir. Well, as we are drawing close to the drawing to the close of the panel, I would want to know, as there was a TripAdvisor survey which was done, which said 62% of the consumers are looking for more environmentally friendly hotels. Given that, I would want to know one final thing that you're looking forward to in the hospitality industry when you talk about a sustainable change that you're trying to bring forward. So, Vinayaka sir will go.
Yeah, what I can see is that yes, engaging the guest, employees, etc., that is one part. Second one is today as an travel and tourism. I'll not talk only the hospitalities. They also has to catch up with the nation's ambition, which is what the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister has set the goal to go to the net zero. Can we do it about 10 to 20 years before that, which is possible? By the way, whatever 2050 goal, 2030 goal, we have achieved in 2023. If that is the case, can we do 2050 goal or 70 goal 10, 20 years before? Whether it can be a emission, it can be on water, or it can be on a waste. So that is the thing. We can have a vision and work towards it. Not only one chain or two chains. As a travel and tourism industry put together through a concrete roadmap and how to achieve those. So that is the thing that I think we can take it from this.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Garg.
Travel, tourism, hotels is a great platform because the number of people we employ. So creating opportunities for specially able people, creating opportunities for people who are not in the mainframe of the society, and giving them a career path in that. I look forward to the days when that number is more than 50% in the hotel industry. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sinha?
We've already got into where we have taken a step where we actually started putting across all the sustainable practices and whatever we can do as a leading hospitality chain. We have started doing as a unit. Being in Bangalore, we have done a lot of measures where we are giving back to the society where it comes, and it's not only limited to food wastage and all, but at the same time, even in our wellness center, in the spa by JW, the products what we are doing is all homemade. So we are using ingredients, and my therapists and all, they are producing those scrubs and different masks and all in-house. So rather than we buying tubes, or buying products outside and then wasting it. So that's one. Secondly, we have created our own JW garden. Now this JW garden has got these basic 5 or 6 most frequently used ingredients or herbs, you can say, which normally we use it in our cocktails, in our mocktails, or just for a basic flavor add to any cuisine. So that is actually getting grown in ours. And we have done a little hydroponic greenhouse where we grow all these. And at the same time, apart from that, we as a first Marriott hotel, we haven't actually gone ahead and spoken that we have taken our initiative by going plastic-free amenities in the room. So we anyways, last year, 2 years back, we installed our own in-house bottling plant for the water to eliminate the plastic bottles. We are going with the same through our banquet, because banquet again has got a lot of a larger water bottle consumption of a plastic, which we are looking forward to convert that also into less wastage in terms of plastic. And in the room where you see those basic dry amenities, which we still, a lot of hotels have got, and that is something where people are still working on how to eliminate that, one single-use plastic, and which we have managed to launch our own bamboo-made products, and keeping, as we were talking about, keeping that luxury quotient about our brand standards, keeping that in fact, even the packaging is like recyclable. It's to that extent. Very soon, by end of this month, we are consolidating all our best practices in terms of doing sustainable act. We will be putting. We have, in fact, our car fleets have gone EV vehicles. So right from a luxury to a basic. So we have got, right now the numbers are lesser, but we are looking forward to convert that completely.
Thank you, sir. And with that, we come to the close of our panel. And I'm really thankful to all our panelists for giving us an insight into the hospitality industry, what it is currently, and what the future holds for us. I think it's been reinstated. In the morning, Harbinder sir said that sustainability is not just a tick in the box thing or a to-do or a good to-do thing. It's a responsibility that each and every one of us needs to take up. So thank you so much, sir, for your time.